The console generation is not over with a full 2 years remaining and Sony's closing act of The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, and Death Stranding solidifying the dominance of gaming with over 85 million consoles sold and some of the highest rated games only found on PlayStation. But Microsoft has poised themselves to steal PlayStation's most prolific motto and brand the Xbox with "Greatness Awaits." PlayStation has planted its roots in the forefront of console gaming with talented studios like Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, Polyphony, and Santa Monica, bringing Uncharted, The Last of Us, Infamous, Gran Turismo, and God of War. Microsoft's Xbox has been infamous in its own right for being known as the Halo, Gears, and Forza machine. Microsoft put the Xbox division into duress by cutting funding to studios and new games for the Xbox One. In late 2017, after a long year of Xbox sitting down, former executive of Windows and Devices, the main source of the choking point for Xbox's first-party games funding, was pushed out, and Phil Spencer was placed at the leadership of the entire gaming division. Behind the scenes, as the gaming community was ridiculing Microsoft's "Xbox has no games," Phil Spencer's team was working, increasing, and spending, and building up what would become the new juggernaut in console gaming, a sleeping giant with a massive checkbook. Behind the scenes at Sony's PlayStation, they were carefully padding out the remainder of the 2-year cycle by spreading out 4 major games. Xbox has a few great games of their own to deliver for the rest of the 2 years, with Crackdown 3, Gears 5, Ori, and Battletoads. But this console generation is lost with the runaway success of the PlayStation with hardware sales 2-to-1. Microsoft is investing big time in next generation. After X018, Microsoft had acquired 8 additional studios, bringing the talent pool to 13 studios creating games. Microsoft had cornered the market with the first and third-person shooter genre with Halo and Gears of War, the cooperative and competitive multiplayer experience, and the best in racing. And now with new studios, they may have the market on RPG exclusives and much more. Let's take a look at what these studios are made of and what they will be making for the Xbox console next generation. Compulsion Games is a fairly new studio that has its roots with Arcane Studios, the talent behind Dishonored. They brought that feel into its game We Happy Few before being acquired by Microsoft in 2018. We Happy Few had potential, but lacked the care and funding from a major studio, something that Gearbox didn't offer outside of publishing. Now under the funding of Microsoft, we may see some truly unique living world in the vein of Dishonored and We Happy Few. Rare has a long history of making the most iconic games of the past 40 years, making waves with Donkey Kong Country, Conker, and several NES classics before taking the world by storm with the N64 mega hit GoldenEye 007 in the late 90s. Rare has never removed themselves from their 90s approach to gaming, and their latest, Sea of Thieves, screams mid-90s gaming and puts it out of place among godlike AAA experiences. But those that love Sea of Thieves truly love it, and it will be curious to see what Rare makes next for Xbox. Mojang Studios is known for the world's largest game of all time, Minecraft. Minecraft can be found just about anywhere, and there are currently over 91 million players moving blocks, scaring pigs, and building incredible creations. At this point, the Mojang Studio is just a license to print money, and Minecraft 2 is in quiet development. Turn 10 Studios is the talent and expertise behind the best racing sim of the past 10 years, Forza Motorsport. Ever since Turn 10 brought their take on Gran Turismo to Xbox, it has continued to set the bar of what a racing game can be. Turn 10 has decided to skip the semi-annualized release of Forza Motorsport in lieu of updating and upgrading and improving the Forza 7 experience while building up Forza Motorsport 8, a true next-generation leap for the series, to bring racing to a visceral, realistic high standard on a powerful new console. Playground Games is the studio that brought us the Forza Horizon series. No racer offers as much flexibility and freedom, and each year the Horizon series has become bigger and brighter, taking us to Colorado, the south of France, down to Australia, and now to the ever-changing seasons of Britain. Playground's talent has placed them in the position to offer the world's best racing game ever made, and they will continue to do so by taking more time to build Forza Horizon 5, hopefully this time in the rumored Tokyo. Playground Games' second team is carefully working on Fable 4. The RPG legs the team stretched with Forza Horizon 3 and 4 are being translated into an open-world character adventure in the next generation's Albion. Care and attention must be given to the Fable series, and Microsoft is giving their teams more time and more funding to make it all happen. Undead Labs is the studio behind State of Decay, a zombie open-world survival game. The first game was a smash hit on the Xbox 360 and PC, and the second game in 2018 was improved in almost every way, but failed to impress the hordes of players that joined the 4-player co-op experience. State of Decay 2 was plagued with launch bugs and annoyances. Undead Labs expresses that after joining Microsoft this year, they will no longer be hindered by budget and time restrictions, and will be able to deliver a AAA experience with State of Decay 3. Ninja Theory is another talented studio added to the Microsoft team. They brought us Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Devil May Cry, and the award-winning Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Ninja Theory has the gift of creating story-driven games with tight melee combat and world exploration. Ninja Theory is the perfect team to revive Scalebound, but they may be pursuing their dream of Razor, a multiplayer co-op game that revolves around hundreds of real players working together to take down massive enemies. And they, quote, have multiple ambitious and exciting new projects in the works, with more talent being added to the studio right now. Ninja Theory is the one to watch when their next creation is revealed. 343 Industries, the Halo team. They took over Halo for Bungie, they proved themselves worthy with Halo 4, and even with its faults, Halo 5 is still a big hit, even making the top 10 sold games this gen on Xbox. 343 has shown that they are the premier first-person shooter developers, standing next to greats like id's Wolfenstein and the Doom series. 343 is hard at work at the open-world Halo Infinite, built on a brand new engine to showcase the next Xbox, which is promised to be the benchmark in power and visuals. The Coalition is the team behind Gears of War. They are currently working on Gears 5 for 2019. The Coalition is largely made up of the talent pool of Epic Games that brought us the original Gears series, which defined the third-person cover shooter that was often imitated throughout the first decade of the 2000s. Gears of War 4 was largely rushed and suffered the impact that the Gears trilogy holds on the last generation. But the fourth Gears of War still hit hard in 2016 and scored and sold well, with horde lobbies still filling up long after release. Gears 5 promises an open-world-like experience and bigger stakes with all new enemies. Gears Tactics is currently being developed for the PC only by the Coalition, but with 14 games already announced for mouse and keyboard on Xbox, it's pretty likely that Tactics will hit the Xbox with controller and mouse and keyboard support. In Exile Entertainment was just added to Microsoft's studio listing. In Exile houses the founder of the team behind the original Fallout series, but more recently the Wasteland series that birthed the backbone of what made Fallout so important in gaming. In Exile is completing development on Wasteland 3, targeted for the end of 2019 on all platforms, but the team is currently in over 30 projects underway, such as Shadowrun Returns and an all-new Leisure Suit Larry. Obsidian Entertainment is another studio that recently joined the list of studios. They've worked on many RPGs over the year, but their most notable work is the highly beloved Fallout New Vegas. The talent and care for the series saw Fallout New Vegas as a preferred Fallout game over Bethesda's own Fallout 3. It added more to the already vast world and improved everything from story to a full-fledged RPG take on Interplay's original concept. Obsidian has been begging for the chance to spin off Fallout 4, but Bethesda's loss is now Microsoft's gain. Expect something massive and as highly rated as Pillars of Eternity to be brought to the next generation. Some of these studios, like In Exile and Compulsion Games, will be tasked with creating AA games to round out the amazing variety in Xbox Game Pass. But studios like Ninja Theory, Obsidian, 343, and the Coalition will continue to create huge AAA adventure flagship games for the Xbox. this is where the initiative leads for Xbox. The Initiative Studio is a team assembled for this Santa Monica-based studio of some of the greatest talent from Rockstar, Naughty Dog, and much more. The purpose of the Initiative is to be charged with creating the next big blockbuster game for Xbox. Matt Booty worked on the reboot of Tomb Raider, and the team could be hard at work at building the perfect dark reboot to be modernized much in the way Lara Croft made her comeback. Their other project we may not hear about for a year or more, but expect a mature character story-driven narrative in a giant living world. The Initiative has been given the creative freedom, resources, and talent to create something truly unique for Xbox that does not relate to Halo, Gears, or Forza. So often we hear, what good is all that power and hardware without the games? Looking at Microsoft in 2018, you'll see a stark contrast to the Xbox of 2017, with nothing to talk about outside of Phantom Dust and Halo Wars 2. The spending alone tells a story of a Microsoft serious about games and ready to provide first-party shooters, racers, RPGs, and adventure games to bring Xbox back to greatness. And you could say that for the next generation on PS5 and the next Xbox, that greatness truly awaits. This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see what's left of the generation we are currently gaming on, check out my last two videos about XO18 and the Xbox V. Yeah, it's funny, I keep saying V or I say Xbox 5. Microsoft messed up the Xbox naming convention by using a 3 in the 360 to pair up with the PS3 in 2005. I'm predicting that they'll do the same thing with the next Xbox and call it some form or variation of the number 5. Here's a little graphic explaining how. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. They've made subscribing easy. There's a little picture of me on the bottom right of the screen. I'm nearing 50,000 subs, and if you like this kind of content, join the other 49-some thousand. This weekend I'll probably finish Red Dead Redemption 2. It's one of the greats of this generation. Have a great week as we hold out for the holidays. I have plenty of time to play plenty of games. I'll see you then, and remember, nice.